you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome back, everybody, to the final video in this series. We are building starter decks to help new players get started in Splinterlands. Today we are going to look at the water element. Water element is the final one. Just as a summary for those who missed the previous videos, I was challenged to build a deck that could go compete in silver for under $100. So I decided to break that down into each of the 5 elements, a video for each one, and put together starter decks for about $30 to $35. And I recommend to build kind of a full lineup that can cover multiple different splinters. I recommend going out and choosing 3 of these. If you're building with a $100 budget, choose 3 of these, and that will meet that $100 budget. Now some people will choose 2, or whatever the case is. Get started with 1. Everybody's gonna have their own budget, obviously, but that's kind of where this stemmed from. So let's go look at what we've got for our water deck here. And this one actually has one of the largest number of cards. There's fewer cards that are kind of top heavy that take up a lot of that budget, although Kellia is one of the most expensive summoners. Kellia is arguably the best rare chaos summoner, so a little more expensive than the others. We've also got our Fiend in there, Torrent Fiend. I put a Fiend in every one of these. Those 0 mana cards are absolutely so valuable, but I really like Kellia because of the versatility. +1 speed, +1 armor, and that's going to allow you to play different types of attack in your lineup. And as far as defending against different types of attack on the other side, there can be a lot of versatility as well. Oceanus is one of my favorite tanks here, and that is a reward card. So Oceanus is actually very cheap right now, still in print, and has high speed, decent amount of health, has void to fight against magic damage, go up against those obsidian teams that we've seen. So I really like Oceanus. And then there's just a lot of different things you can do here. One of my favorite strategies, and we're going to see some of these play out here in just a second, but I like opportunity teams. Like using Deep Worker and Feasting Seaweed is a great opportunity combo. You can even get some sneak in. Pelcore Bandit's a very good card that's extremely cheap right now. An in-print reward common is very cheap, but I bet those Pelcore Bandits, once they go out of print, I bet we're gonna see a lot of demand for those. You've got some healers that you can put in here. Venari Wavesmith can give you even more armor. Narissa is a solid epic card that has lots of magic attack and some decent health. Demon Shark is a card that Demon Shark's another tank that you can use. Got Demented Shark, not Demon Shark. Demented Shark is the one that's as Inspire that can boost your melee attack. So kind of the same strategy we used with Fire, using those opportunity cards, those sneak cards. Having Demented Shark in there can boost that offense, and then you've got a little more protection defending against that type of attack, because Kellia adds that armor in, so you can get all of that offense and have a little more versatility there as well. Let's go look in some battles so you guys can actually see some of this in action. So here's the first one, and you're gonna see Oceanus up front, which is one of my favorite tanks. The speed, the health, the void, very, very powerful up front. And then I like to pair it with Venari Wavesmith. So if they go with magic attack, you've got that void. Wavesmith is going to add even more armor. So Kelly is giving +1, so now we'll get +3. We'll go ahead and start and let this run here. So that's going to give you more protection for those backline cards that might get hit by snipe, might get hit by sneak, whatever the case is. So you're going to see Fiend. Again, I talk about those 0 mana cards. So we put Fiend in there, and the Fiend's able to take 3 hits. Didn't cost any mana. It was just a throw-in card there, but really helped protect this backline, this hireling. This hireling would have been gone by now, but instead he's got that repair. That hireling's good with Kellia, right? Because all these cards have armor, so all of them have something that can be repaired. So it's a very good healing mechanic. And then you get down to this point, and you'll see hireling's gonna last forever because he just keeps repairing up that that armor damage that is done. You've got Oceanus absorbing that magic damage. Both Oceanuses up front, you can see how beefy they are, how good they are. But once this Deep Worker just taking out that back line, and then finally able to gang up on that other Oceanus up front. So that's kind of idea of what you can expect. Let's go to a higher mana battle here. You don't always see a lot of these in some of the lower leagues, but here we've got one, and you can. One of the other things I like about Oceanus, you can see just how versatile this entire lineup is. He's a tank, but you don't have to put him in the first spot because he's got magic attack. You can put him in the second spot, in the third spot. And so we went with some tanks up front. That's Demon Shark's a little weak to magic. He's got all that armor, but the magic damage went right underneath it. So they fell kind of quickly. But then, okay, if they went magic on the other team, well, now you've got Oceanus that comes up here, and he was in the third spot, but he's going to be an awesome tank. And you've got the heal in the back that continues to heal him up, and he's just going to buy enough time up there that Deep Worker can just take out a lot of those cards. You've got Nerissa, who's doing a decent chunk of damage there, but even then, in the fourth spot comes up and has 10 health, so you've got a lot of health, a lot of survivability on that team to give your attackers time to go do some damage. So let's look at a little bit of a different look here. Let's look at Demented Shark as I continue to mix those up. Demented Shark, and that Inspire. So he's not a bad tank up there. This is a little higher level. This is a silver level battle, so you'll see a little bit higher level cards, but it's the same concept. Demented Shark's able to boost all the melee damage. So once again, you've got a Fiend up front, and then you're just going to get all of this damage in the back line. Down at the bottom, they went with a bunch of flying cards because this is an Earthquake rule set, right? So unfortunately, we're going to take a little bit of flying damage, but we've got so much melee damage here that we can just go out and deal a bunch of damage even before we're kind of on a timer here with that Earthquake with only one flying card, but still able to just do so much damage in large part to that. Inspire and the Enrage rule set certainly helps there as well. But you can see how Demented Shark can be a tank. Sometimes I'll use him as a secondary tank more than a primary tank, but it's just there to boost that offense and really help increase your damage a little bit. So we can even boost the offense so much. Let's look against Mylor. Mylor is a very strong summoner, especially in the early game down there. Mylor is going to do Thorns damage. So every time a card gets hit by a melee attack, they're going to get 2 damage back to him, as you can see. But because of this Demented Shark, we've boosted our damage so high. We had the extra armor in there from Kelia to provide just a little bit of resistance, and we did get a little lucky in this battle. There were a couple dodges in there that certainly did help out. You can see even had so much damage where even was able to absorb those thorns, and then the Fiend is the last one standing. I also wanted to use that video to drive home the point how valuable those Fiends are. If you didn't have a Fiend to throw in there with that 0 mana, that's a draw, but instead that Fiend is there to just kind of survive at the end. In that case, he was put in the back in case there was sneak damage on the other side. The Fiends are great, just kind of a great throwaway card to protect against sneak, and that's what he was there for, but ends up he's just the Fiend is the last one standing to get the victory there. So hopefully that kind of shows some of the strategies, but the reason that Kelia Water team is probably my favorite, and you can see is the market's favorite as well as one of the most expensive summoners, is that Kelia just has so much versatility. Speed and armor, and unless you're in, okay, sometimes there's a rule set that there's no armor, or you're in a reverse speed rule set, so there are some niche times when those are bad, but in general, that's something that's always going to be good. No matter what you're facing. Speed is king, right? Speed is extremely valuable. You saw that last battle, there were a couple of dodges there. That +1 speed potentially helped get some of increase that dodge chance to get some of those extra dodges. So speed can be very, very valuable, and just allows you to run different lineups for different situations based on what the rule sets are, based on what you think your opponent's going to do. You can have great magic defense in there with Oceanus. You can have great melee defense, so great range defense. Whatever you're trying to build against, the water team is very, very versatile. So I would say that's my favorite one to start out with. If I had to choose one of these 5, that's what I would go with. But again, I would recommend going and renting these if you're just getting started in the game, or you're looking into building some of these new new element. Maybe you only had a couple of them and you might be experienced in the game, but you want to start adding into another element, or whatever the case is. I highly recommend to go rent these first. Rent them, find out which ones you like, find out which cards you like, maybe even rent some additional cards to this. I was sticking to about a $30 budget, but that, I mean, that doesn't mean you have to, or if you're renting, you can kind of expand that out a little bit. So go rent, find out what you like, and then once you see which lineups you're using the most, go start to purchase those cards. But this is definitely my favorite one. So what do you guys think? Do you like water? Is it your favorite one? I know everybody's got different opinions. The game's fairly balanced, so you'll see a lot of different people liking different elements. Again, it also depends on your budget as well. Some of them can be good, but rely on certain key cards maybe that might be more expensive. So there's a lot of stuff to take in. What did I leave out? Let me know in the comments below. I love when you guys leave your comments to let me know either what you think I should have added in, what you're surprised I put in there, and just help other players out too, because this is one person's opinion, right? So if people are watching this video, it's nice to be able to scroll down the bottom and maybe get different ideas from different people on what they should add. So that's helpful for new players as well. So thank you guys so much. I will link all of the links. I'll put all the links for all 5 of these videos down. I'll put them in a playlist to make this very easy for new players to find. And hopefully this is useful for everybody. Thank you so much. I'll be seeing you guys on my live streams. Thanks a ton.